killing the character twice because LG wakes up.
Yeah, LG wakes up and then spits, of course, because that's what LGs do.
His face is all cut off. He looks like a fucking Cenobite or some
And
shit.
she almost dies right here. This is almost the end of Stretch right here when he's trying to cut the rope. I'm like, is he just going to cut her now? And this is the end of the movie? This is a short-ass movie. I don't
I know, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's fucking totally discombobulated because his head's been bashed in. He's got no skin.
And then when he falls over and dies, he's like, shit.
And then she puts the face back on in a lovely moment and the hat.
And she says, I loved you.
I loved you, LG.
Which is the first time fucking LG gets any play. She had to wait till he was fucking skinned and dying to say.
Saved her life.
And wearing his
you.
face.
Yeah. Fucking weirdo.
Women. Am I right, guys? Can't live with them. Can't kill them.
Can't get skinned in front of him.
I'm just saying that's a poor some bitch right there.
Shit.
I was watching this one time with some friends, and I was sitting in the same spot, and we were smoking pot the whole time. And I was like, I need some air. And they all thought I was getting sick over the movie, for real. They were all sitting there like, oh, are you okay, Brock? I'm like, dude, I've seen this like 20 times. I've been sitting in this fucking room for like 3 hours now.
Full
just
of
getting
smoke.
high. Yeah. I have to go outside for a second. And they were all like, oh, are you okay? I'm like, oh my God, I am. I've seen this. It's not making me sick. Jesus, let's go back in and watch it again.
So I would like to believe that this portion, she has a little bit of introspection, and she's like, I really did love LG, because you have to walk a mile in someone's face to really, get...
She did get
where
that
they're coming
opportunity.
from. Yeah.
And I want to go back and, Hellraiser didn't come out till 87. So in a way,
to set the tone.
Yeah. And this makeup is great on his face, dude.
Yeah. Tom Savini knocked it out of the park with that one. So what we got, what we have happening next?
So I think next we're down in the,
I think it cuts back
the chamber to the guys. It's Chop Top and he's carrying the body, right? And this is where we get Nomland. And he's talking about Nomland.
Yeah, but doesn't it cut to Hopper, Dennis Hopper, like cutting some more shit
Well,
around?
I mean, that's, the rest of the movie, you're going to see that until the end.
Until they combine
he's
to
still,
each other.
He's still cutting support beams on his way down.
Singing, too.
Trek to Hell.
Isn't he
bringing in the sheaves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They can hear him.
Well, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet, because now they're down there talking. He's talking Chop Top. Chop Top, this is the best part with him, just because he's talking about Nomland,
He's carrying his dead brother around.
Carrying his dead twin brother around. Nubbins. Fire in the hole. And this is actually, so I'm going to take that back, because this is where we cut back to Lefty, and he finds Franklin. From the first movie,
that's
the wheelchair.
Right.
Yes, he finds a wheelchair. Yeah,
and that's the big reference to me that obviously he was family with that person.
Yeah,
that's right. I'll take you back to hell.
Oh God! He doesn't need to huff the nitrous oxide in this one, though.
Right? And then we come back to that scene where he's, Chop Top's been talking about Nomland, and that's when we see her, because she's escaped and she runs through that little tunnel.
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Hey, did you see that?"
Yeah.
Whoa! And what's he say? He goes, "Leatherface already killed her once tonight."
Yeah. And Leatherface is like nodding, shaking his head, shaking his head. And he's like,
"Yeah."
And this is the. So this is where we get the burner like a rat, burner like a rat. And then this is where we get the great line that like kind of feeds into some of the other movies down the road. Sex is nobody knows.
Yeah,
but the Saw's family.
The Saw's family. He's like, you turned traitor for a piece of tail.
Yep.
He's like, give me that, and then he doesn't kill her. He's like, get her. Oh, right, because they don't want to kill her. They want to bring her to Grandpa.
Yeah, well, and this is where we kind of get that same scene from the first one.
But better, because
better.
If you notice, there's
Tabasco.
100,
yeah, way better.
There's Tabasco sauce and ketchup on the table and rotten fruit. I thought they did a great job with all the stuff.
It's a huge table, too.
Yeah, man, they do that pullback because they knock her out. Oh, yeah, because it's like 1, 2, 3, and Chop Top knocks her out in like a point of view fashion, which is kind of cool. And I always love that kind of point, putting that old school kind of horror point of view in there. It's kind of cool. And Then she wakes up, you pull back from the chair, and she does some wonderful screaming again.
Yeah, as she does.
Which
yes.
this is the part that I feel like someone must have sampled this into some other movies or something because it sounded very familiar. Maybe it's just I've seen this movie a bunch.
Yeah,
but-
you've seen it so many times that you're gonna remember that scream.
And this is
Yeah.
where they bring out Grandpa here.
with the fantastic makeup by Tom Savini, like we pointed out.
And he's 137 years old.
Jesus Christ!
They mentioned that.
So he's like 1850s.
He's old.
Well, if you eat people, you get the Wendigo power.
Well, he's on a juice
Wendigo.
diet. They mentioned he's on a juice diet.
Oh, you think they just liquefied people?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay.
Soylent Green is made
Oh,
of people.
yeah.
If you
he's
didn't listen
blood.
to Charlton Heston.
Yeah, it's just blood the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's a vampire.
Kind of. The blood is what makes him live forever.
No, I think they would have given them the meat just ground up or like
pureed.
Yeah.
Like you give old people in the old folks home.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then of course, they bring her over. Lots of screaming. They bring her over.
It really is a nightmare of a sequence, though, because they put her over a barrel, like in the first movie, and the old guy's supposed to bash her over the head with a hammer, but he can't do it.
He can't even hold the fucking
Can't
hammer.
even hold it.
He drops that hammer like 80 times.
It's kind of funny,
It
but
is
like,
dumb,
dude,
too.
It's great.
if you were her, like,
Oh
fuck,
no!
man,
Absolutely.
how imagine terrifying.
Well, and he
that
does
would
at one point. He catches her a little bit, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
and
the
that's the
force,
worst.
the force of that was nothing, though. You know what I mean?
be. But think about
Just
a
the
couple of
weight.
those over and over again, and like, I don't know.
well, that's where Drayton comes over and just pops
enough.
her.
Yeah, enough, Grandpa. We got to get this going.
Yep. And he just pops her. And this is really where we start hearing him singing, "Bringing in the Sheaves."
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're like, "Aren't you gonna go get him or some shit?"
The Lord of the Harvest.
Yeah.
Oh
he's coming-
goddamn, that's a great line too.
Lord of the
Yeah.
Harvest.
Yeah, they have some fucking killer lines in this movie.
And this is where he comes out and he does that jump down
Yes.
and
And you can see his
disappears and pops back up.
Yes.
He's got his chainsaws, which are the least effective weapons ever. By the way, if you're battling someone, don't
I don't
choose
know, man.
that. But he does run that fucking chainsaw right up Drayton's ass, dude.
Yes. So he
Oh.
comes out. There's the standoff. Gets Drayton in, nicks him in the ass because
Doesn't
that's
he
funny.
kind of gives him a little push
he-
with it.
Yeah, he gets it up there. Not Nick, I guess. He gets it in there. I mean, he does. You're right. Yeah, I
He
was
gets it
wrong.
right in there. Yeah,
He gets it up in there, and then that bitch goes and hides under the table, and then you have a sweet battle with Leatherface and him with fucking them
Chainsaw
4-foot
duel.
chainsaws.
Oh hell yeah,
the
dude,
chainsaw
that was
duels,
badass.
man, you know,
I always thought they should make a fighting game where you could choose to be
Leatherface.
either lefty or Leatherface,
hmm
and you got to battle, so you could have the two chainsaws.
Yeah, but that whole time he's underneath them.
Yeah,
The cook is underneath
Because he
him.
pulls nubbins down.
Yeah, he's got nubbins down there, and he's got a grenade.
He
Well,
says,
hold
give
on,
me,
he-
give me that
first-
fuck you, Charlie.
Yeah, where's that fuck you, Charlie? You had that one time thing. He gets first. Dennis Hopper cuts free.
Yes,
The chick.
stretch.
Yeah, Stretch. So she gets to go run through the mazes,
And then Chop Top is chasing
Chop
her.
Top is chasing her. And then he fights Leatherface while the cook is under there. The old man stands up somehow and gets the hammer.
And he's just smiling at that point, too,
Yeah, he
which is
thinks
real.
he's like, this is
great.
wonderful. This is great. And then you can see Nubbins sitting there with like a cola with what's that kind of cola you were telling me?
Is it Big Red?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
It's big red and it's got a curly straw in the skeleton's mouth as the cook pulls him down. He's like, "Where's that fuck you, Charlie? You had," which turns out to be a
Grenade.
Well, I mean, she gets away too. She's
Yeah,
running
so
away.
she's running away. Chop Top's chasing her, and she's like running up to some other antechamber.
Level.
She's going somewhere.
Yeah.
She's looking for the exit
She's
sign.
well, obviously there
Yeah.
is an exit sign
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of ironic,
Yeah.
but it only leads to the grandma.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
which works out well.
yeah.
Because there's a
it
chainsaw. in
does.
Grandma.
Yeah, it does.
Well, yeah, Grandpa, and I'm looking at it right now. Grandpa throws the actual
yeah,
hammer,
He
and
throws
it
the
hits.
hammer. He also gets nicked again in the back or something while he's on the table. While the Dennis Hopper and Leatherface are fighting on top of the table now. At one point, a chainsaw comes down and nicks him again.
Right.
and he knocks the grenade out of his hand.
Yeah, he knocks
Yep.
the grenade out
Yeah.
of his hand. In the ensuing battle, the 4-foot chainsaw is then inserted into Leatherface, which is awesome sequence.
Yeah, all the way through.
All the way through him, and it's like this big prosthetic. You can tell they're swinging back and forth. Then Dennis Hopper whips out his 2 side chainsaws, starts going to town with those. Actually, doesn't he just start screaming to high heaven and whipping them up like this?
Yeah.
And as he
like this, because podcasts are a visual medium.
up in the air like a cowboy, because he looks like a cowboy
He does,
above his head,
absolutely.
and he's screaming to Hallelujah, to the Lord. And then the grenade goes off when she sees the exit sign. They go up this really skinny like pipe ladder.
Well,
tunnel.
she shocks him before that too. She knocks
with a lamp.
Yeah, it gets him in the
110
metal plate.
volts in the metal plate.
But he's
really
got
poking him in the head with that.
Yeah,
if you
no,
watch it.
she fries him up, but he still ends up chasing her.
Well, yeah,
But,
it's
he's-
still only 110 volts, and I know it's straight to his brain, probably.
Still,
but
but he's fucking
pretty
nuts.
sure that doesn't work anyway.
Yeah.
So.
and then he's got that he's got a
that
razor blade,
and like while she's going up the top, and he's just cutting the back of her
cutting her,
legs.
and
there's a point where they're in that antechamber with the grandma,
and
like
all the bones and shit.
and he's on her back just slicing away, dude.
After she pulls the chainsaw away from her.
Grandma looks really good too because she's like really huge. It's weird.
Yeah.
Grandma was like,
well, she's like they must have built a throne of a shrine.
But she
around
was
her.
definitely not a small lady.
no.
I'm
She was
sure
like
they
a
kept her well
big
fed.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she's been there forever,
Right. Because she's crusty.
Yeah, you didn't see Mama in the original movie either.
Real quick, go back. I think it's really cool that it ends that way for those like seemingly Leatherface. Everyone dies down there because a grenade dropped and it just blows up in the
Yeah, and Leatherface had a
and he
chainsaw,
had a
in his
chainsaw
stomach.
through him.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and Leatherface had a chainsaw through his fucking gut.
Really,
Yeah.
the only person you could see possibly making it out of there would have been Lefty. And because the grenade could have thrown him aside, you know
Sure.
what
Yeah.
I mean? Where
But I do
Drayton was underneath right with it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Leatherface had a chainsaw through him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only person that could possibly have lived would have been Lefty, but we know that probably doesn't happen.
right.
I like
Well-
that though. I liked how it's left like the explosion just comes through the tunnel and with dust and explosion, and that's all you get.
Yeah,
to see
that's
of
all
him.
you get to see. You
Right.
don't get to see anything else. And then Chad Top's so fucking crazy too. He starts slicing his own neck.
Yeah, he does with that razor. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not deep,
No,
but it's
he's-
enough
He's like,
to
watch
bleed.
look at me.
yeah. And then she's pretty fucking badass at this point
Well,
too.
it's daylight now when she gets out there,
Yeah.
and it's really cool. The set that's out there, it's like this weird dirt metal shrine that's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
That's in like, what did you call it?
like an antechamber. Or,
Yeah, there you go. Like, but it's like
Well, they got the cross up there with the skulls, and they got all
Yes.
those mobiles with the fucking the hands on them
on the skulls. There's
Yeah,
hands
the
on
yeah,
skulls.
yeah. They look like the hands on the skulls look like bats almost.
Yeah.
in a weird way.
And she,
well, she gets a chainsaw out of fucking Mama's
there's like
stomach,
a old
pretty much.
chainsaw
Yeah.
sitting there.
Yeah, and she's still trying to light or rip that or get that chainsaw
start
going.
it.
That's when he's cutting the shit out of her
At
in
her
the
back, dude. And it's just tearing up her back.
And he's fucking mental nuts, and she just keeps trying and trying and trying that whole time.
Well, what else are you gonna do at
Yeah.
that point? Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to give up until.
I mean, I
fucking-
wouldn't have chose the chainsaw to be honest, but
right.
You know, that's
But
fine.
this is where she turns everything around too, because
Yep.
she finally gets it started, and then goes after Chop Top for
Yep.
it, and is literally like slicing him open, cutting his stomach open,
Got
and
his
that's when he
stomach,
goes
and then
over.
he falls over this
Into the
wonderful-
tunnel.
Yeah. Oh, I think the set is so cool. Just to me, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely.
I mean, that was a great stunt too. If that guy fell
Falling
that
over.
right,
Right
into,
into the
that
hole.
shit, yeah, perfectly. And then that's when you get to see her doing
Do her little chainsaw.
wonderful-
dance.
correct.
The
Yes.
pullback shot, which I'll never forget, of her dancing with the chainsaw in the chamber, like fucking throne thing out in the middle of Texas or whatever.
And the Texas flag is at the very
Yup.
top of the thing, and it's just flapping in the wind while she's going nuts. So God knows
Now you
if-
got the crazy brain.
Yeah, maybe she actually ended up being the
Leatherface
next
part
the
3.
next
yeah.
one, yeah.
She's
yeah.
the next. That would be a great.
But
like,
also, she survived. She didn't
yeah,
fucking die.
she lived. How is she gonna get down to? Yeah, I was just thinking about that. It's like, how would she get down from there? She can't go back through
Well,
the tunnel.
I
She'll
think she
figure
could
out a
get
way.
She'll
down.
probably get through there.
But
Yeah.
I wonder how much blood she's going to lose between there and like
Getting back to her
How
Jeep.
would you
her
explain
Jeep.
that?
Yeah.
all
Well,
of
she'd
that?
probably get back to the station wagon first.
Yeah. Well.
And
Yeah.
how-
Yeah.
If
That's
she
probably
had the
closer.
keys. If the keys
Yeah.
were-
Unless she turns the station wagon around and she falls through another trap door.
Another
Damn it,
hole.
There's a whole different family down there.
Yeah, it's the aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
Leatherface's uncle.
Yeah.
He's a real scary one.
Leatherface.
He only takes the skins from cars and puts them on his face.
Oh, jeez.
So it's like he's got like Buick Skylark shit all over.
And
it.
how would you explain that to the cops?
Yeah, right.
You've been
right.
eating people. Yeah, right, sister.
Yeah, whatever. I don't believe you. I really don't see that happening.
I think even with 1986 technology, they could have identified